Don Wilson here for Top MMA News here at FitMMA with Corry MacDonald. Corry, there's been a lot of up in the air with you recently. We haven't seen you fight. A couple fans might have saw your last fight with Chester Post. What are the reasons we haven't seen you in the ring recently?
Originally I signed with the NFC a year and a half ago, right?
Yeah.
It's a fight deal. I fought a really good fighter to the Nogueira camp.
Yeah.
I felt under them. Thiago Goncalves.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be a fight that sprung me onto bigger things, but unfortunately I busted out my finger in the fight in the first round, but it was dislocated and snapping. They put it back in for me. I fought the rest of the fight.
Took the decision?
Yeah, I took the decision. But after the fight, I couldn't fight on the December card, so I don't know, he might have just forgot about me a little bit. I emailed him a few times, go back and forth. I was supposed to fight Luigi, but then that fight went to Pete Spratt,
yep.
Which I understand, two big names, it helps him out more than it helps me, I guess, right? Like, I get that, I get it. But then a few other fights didn't happen, and it's a business, right? Yep. I understand where Pav is going. He's trying to bring guys in with bigger names, like instead of just trying to overall promote everyone, right? So, you know, I hold nothing against it. I would have liked to have fought more for him. And, you know, am I disappointed? Yes, but I'm not sitting there going, you know, he's an asshole or anything like that.
First point on that, you were with MFC. Have you been released from your MFC contract?
Yes.
Are you officially open to negotiations?
Yes, the contract finished recently, like maybe 3-4 months ago. So, yeah.
All right. After that, we next saw your name pop up against, supposedly against Simon Marini, at the last rec card. Prior to that, there was some negotiations on the weight, originally scheduled for 170.
Yes.
Who went back and asked for the fight to be at a higher weight?
I did.
Yep.
A few things went into that. First off, I wasn't thrilled with the matchup. I wanted to come back to a bigger name, but they kind of negotiated for me to fight him, and then they said, okay, he's coming off a win. But then he went out and fought, I think 7-8 weeks before me, 6 weeks maybe,
yep.
Lost the fight. So I'm like, I was heavy to begin with, but I was like, well, I'm not going to kill myself to get down to a weight when, you know, he went to the fight before me. And it's good for him. Everybody needs to make money, right?
Yeah,
but for me, to keep progressing, I kind of want to get bigger names, right? I want to get noticed now because I'm at a stage now that I've already fought the tough guys. I TKO'd Louise.
Yep.
I beat a black belt on the Nogueiras. I beat Matt McGrath, Graham Maison, you know, Rowan Cunningham. I beat a lot of guys, right? So now I just want to get those names, people that they know about. I want to fight bigger name guys and I want to make the UFC. That's my final goal, right? So at that time, I didn't think that fight
would get you to where you want to go
because of the loss, right?
Yeah. Now, saying that, 2 years ago, we would look at Canadian welterweight rankings, and we would see Corry MacDonald probably number 3. You'd have your Georges St. Pierre, potentially Alessio Goulet, and then you. You took the fight against Goulet.
Yes.
Why don't you explain a little to the fans what happened in that fight?
It was something stupid. You know the little epaulets in your jersey there? Well, I was pummeling with one of my partners there in the back, getting warmed up. He pulled back, came out, hit me in the eye, and ended up taking my cornea off. So, and I've had it come off before. My fight with Grandma, actually. He came back and told me and I took it off. So it was a little susceptible, right? So I knew I had this was about 20 minutes before the fight, maybe 15 minutes. I knew I had about half an hour before, it ended up going toast, right? It's done. So I said, I'm going to go out there and just try to finish it the first round. Screw it, we'll go for it. After, you know, a lot of swearing in the background, thinking, how did this happen to me? So we went in, I gave it my all. I hit a couple of good shots. You know, he dropped a couple times. He's a champ, like he is. He's a tough guy. Like, he went down, came right back, kept fighting. People thought he'd really want him to fight. You know, you're winning, you're this, that. No, I was doing well in the fight. He came back. Who knows what would have happened in the fight? He's a great fighter. I never say to anybody that I was winning the fight or I won that fight. I was doing well in the fight up till that point, right?
Yeah. And then came out with a corner stoppage at the end of that fight?
Yeah.
So, Corry, it's been, like we said, the last fight was Chester Post. Might as well give the fans a little bit about that. How did that fight go down?
Chester, I've known Chester for a long time.
Yeah.
He'll fight anybody. He's got a bad record, but
he will step in there against anybody.
He will step in against anybody, and he'll come to fight too, right? Like I've seen guys with a lot less heart get in the ring, and you know, as soon as they get hit once, it's time for them to go home, right? But Chester goes into every fight thinking he's going to win, and that's different than a lot of guys, right? Just looking at their paycheck. Chester really thinks, like I want to win this fight. I don't want to just come and get a paycheck. I want to fight. So.
And that fight was at 185?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
So now you've already dropped a little bit of weight. Looking good. You're ready to get back down to 170?
Yeah. The fight with Chester was like just for me to get my weight down.
Yeah.
fights weren't really happening the way I want. I talked to my old promoter, Ollie Nestor. He's always been great to me. He used to manage me, and he just said, you know, what do you want to do, right? Because it's always a guy that I can fall back on because he's always been good for us, a really good relationship.
Yeah.
And he said, you know, I got a fight for the EGC. He said, you know, who do you want to fight? I said, anybody at 185. He said, I'll find you somebody. I said, Chester will take the fight. I was like, you know what, good. You know what, at least he'll take it. Because I've had a lot of guys talk to me over the internet saying how they're going to kick my ass. And then all of a sudden, when it comes time to get offered the fight, it's, well, no, I was just...
Let's stop you there. You prepared to name some names there?
No, I don't name names.
You don't name names?
I'm not going to get through the sport talking about everybody else. And, you know, if the person's not in front of me, I'm not going to talk about it. It's as simple as that.
Fair enough. Well, we have, like we were talking before, there are a lot of big-name Canadians at 170 that have stuff coming up already booked. There are a few guys out there that don't. You know, guys that you fought before. One would be Jonathan Goulet. He's got a title fight coming up against Chris Clements. After that, they're definitely going to need another challenger. Would that be someone you'd be willing to step in the ring, maybe get some redemption on that fight?
Yeah, I'd like to get. I'd like to have one fight before that. Because like I said, the Chester fight can go very long. I'd like to get a little work in. It's been a year, right? I'd like. There's some guys out west that I wouldn't mind going out. Put up a good fight, like that Ryan Mahan.
Yep.
I'm not sure how to say his last name, but he's at Jason McDonald's camp. Good fighter, good record. There's some shows out west. I'm sure we could put on a good show out there, right? That's a main event for somebody. It wouldn't cost a whole lot, I don't think, either way. So
Corry, you got yourself and a camera here. Why don't you explain to Canada's promoters and matchmakers out there what you're looking to do?
I was talking to one organization that said, you know, they couldn't afford me, but that's the thing they don't understand. Like I'm willing to work with any organization to bring me in big names. I'm willing to negotiate, work with any promoter, any manager for them to bring me in a big name, a good name for me to, you know, to put on a show. Helps them, helps me at the same time. It doesn't cost them as much, and it works out for both parties, right? So I'm willing to work with anybody. I want big names. I want to fight somebody that's going to get me into the UFC. I'm going to get over the strike force. You know, I want to get to the bigger card, and I don't want to just keep fighting to fight. I want to get somewhere.
So when you say you're willing to work with matchmakers, are you technically stating that you're willing to take a much lower payday to get yourself in the ring with someone that's going to essentially advance your career, advance your shot at the bigger shows?
Yeah, right now, like, it's not about money so much for me, right? It's about getting to a spot.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not saying give me $200, but I'm, you know, pay me for my time, but you don't have to, you know, I'm not going to ask for all going out, and I'm not going to, you know, I'm worth this, I'm worth that. It's not helping anybody, right? There's a lot of promotions out there just getting by, and you know, they're trying to put on good shows for the fans. I want to put on a good show for the fans, so bring in a big name, let me smash them, and you don't have to pay me as much. You get me who I want. I don't need as much money because, you know,
the challenge and the opponent are gonna be worth their weight in gold.
Yeah, I got all the money I need from things I do other than fighting.
Yeah.
So it's not so much about the money for me. It's about, you know, fighting. It's about fighting.
Well, Canada Matchmakers, Canada Promotions, take heed to Corry MacDonald's warning here. He's ready to go. How long would it, if someone were to call you today, how quick can we get you in the cage?
Anytime in January. Give me 8 weeks.
8 weeks?
8 weeks. I'm good.
And you're ready to go?
November, yeah, so January, I guess. I don't do too much over Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah, January, yeah, whatever the weekend is there, I'm good to go.
Perfect. Well, this has been Don Wilson from Top MMA The News. Corry MacDonald, everyone out there, take heed. He's looking for a fight. Let's get him one. Thank you very much, Corry. Absolute pleasure.
Thank you.